Joey.
Yeah?
Have you seen my girl?
Who, Bernadette?
No, my little Backwoods girl.
Hey, my little backwoods girl, I've been longing for you. Yeah, it's true. I've been a long time longing for you. Hey, now don't you do me wrong. I done wrote this song. I wrote it for you. I've been a long time longing for you. It's time for us to pitch in and start another Two-Cat show. Down at the Two-Cat Kitchen, we're starting on a mission to put you in the culinary know. We've got the finest recipes you ever will find, guaranteed to show you all a mighty fine time here at the Two-Cat Kitchen. Time for a new edition of the culinary Two-Cat show. The culinary Two-Cat show.
Welcome to the Two-Cat Kitchen, the show that mixes musical mayhem with culinary calamity. Rick is here to mix it all up for us.
Hey everybody, welcome to the kitchen.
Each episode features new songs, a brand new recipe, and a special musical guest. Who's our guest today?
Today we have our good friend and music connoisseur, Scott Doggett.
Oh wow, that sounds great. Every episode of the Two-Cat Kitchen also includes an informative segment. What do we have in store for us today?
Today we'll be taking a look at magic moments in music history with Chi Pekingese. But first, I think I hear the coconuts. Let's check it out.
This is just a towel closet.
Oh, wow. They must have gone somewhere else. Or maybe I was just hearing things.
You were just hearing things. The coconuts aren't here this week.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, this episode of the Two-Cat Kitchen features classic numbers from the Cartwrights.
Exactly which road I'll follow. Seems I'm always on a highway paved in blue. My heart is broken beyond repair. Just one little call would have broken my fall, but you weren't there. There's no denying I'm in despair.
We're back at the Two-Cat Kitchen. We're here with our special guest. Today's guest is Scott Doggett. Welcome to the kitchen, Scott.
Hello, Rick.
Great to see you.
I know, a long time.
Yeah, it's been a while. And so give us an idea. Scott's a guitar player, singer,
Yeah.
crooner. No, maybe
Crooner.
not a crooner. And tell us what you've been up to musically lately.
What have I been doing? I got a band. We actually just took like a 5-year hiatus because the drummer is a cartologist for the government. So she moved down to D.C. and broke us up for about 5 years, but we're back together. So we are the DBC, or the Deathbed Confessions, and it's a really fun band. It's 2 guitars, bass, drums, and a lead singer. And it's, is it a classic rock band or is it a covers band? Yeah, but I love the way we curate it. Like, we do a Connie Francis song, we do 9 to 5, we'll do a Prince song. It's just all, we do Tom Jones. It's kind of, I don't know, it just has a really good vibe and a lot of good energy. It's like, it's different. You're not just doing top 40 stuff or anything like that.
Nice. What's the instrumentation, or what are the?
Yeah, it's two. It's got
you mentioned that.
Yeah, I'm pretty much, well, I've got a great lead guitarist. We have a great lead guitarist, Bill Jetty. Jen McPherson is a time bomb. She's a great drummer. John Simpson on bass. Wade Dever's a great lead singer. He's got that sort of like raspy, sort of tenor baritone vibe. It sounds. He's just got a nice sounding voice. He's great upfront personality. And I just harmonize. I do harmonies, so I'm not a lead singer at all. I just do harmonies on against Wade pretty much.
And rhythm guitar.
Yeah, and rhythm guitar. But
Yeah.
I'll sneak in leads too. Like Bill and I, we have little things worked out, and it's Allman Brother moments.
Nice.
Dual guitar parts. This is fun.
So how do you guys choose material? I'm just curious. I know you have a lot of knowledge of obscure songs. And,
once you're in a band, I feel like every song you hear, you're trying to figure out how the band will do it. You know what I mean? So you're constantly arranging stuff. And it is the most fun is curating and arranging, right? Like when you're doing a covers band, that's all you have, unless you're just going to be like a real cover band and try to like do what the record did. So we're just always looking for fun stuff. And, I was in a band for just a heartbeat. And it felt so bad because it was like guys in their 60s doing songs from the 60s. I was like, oh my God, get me out of this. So, because you just want to have fun songs, and take people by surprise. And all the stuff that you thought was nerdy as a kid, I just love now. Like I could listen to the Carpenters, I can listen to Neil Diamond, I can listen to, 9 to 5, whatever it is, all these songs that you sort of didn't really have tolerance for when you're younger because it wasn't cool.
Yeah, yeah.
I just think, you start hearing these arrangements and you're just like, oh my God, these are incredible records.
Yeah. I've definitely, same here with that. I mean, some of the stuff from the 80s, which I absolutely hated when it was happening. And now going back and listening to it, it was like, wow, there was some awesome production going on in these things that I didn't pay any attention to because I hated it.
Yeah.
And and then a song's a song when you come right down to it.
Yeah.
And
just how well it's arranged, or how it's tough when there are people like Prince. Right, I just loved Prince, and I still do love Prince, right? So his music was great, but you do listen to that stuff in the 80s now, and it's so stamped with that 80s sound, that 80s keyboard, and those things that happen. Like in my old band, Kid Aldine, our keyboard player had a DX7, so all the keyboard stuff is just very dated. It makes it harder to listen to. I wish all the bands, well, the Cartwrights were, but some of my bands were, the music didn't have the longevity because it's sort of stamped with a lot of the effects or the instruments of the time, and it makes it harder to enjoy it. When all of a sudden this bad synth sound comes on from the 80s.
Yeah.
And I never wrote that kind of song. They're all like normal songs. They're almost like what we used to call it, new country pop wave songs. And they're all that style. But then there's like this Flock of Seagulls keyboard thing going on in the background. You're like, what's that doing there? Oh, I wish I wasn't there.
Yeah.
But anyway, I went off on a tangent.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, that's interesting, and I think that in the few bands that I've been in, always if a band is like picking eclectic material, people seem to respond to that better. I think, at least in the venues that we've played at. Unusual stuff that they don't expect to hear, and it's like, where the heck did that come from?
But still incredibly popular songs.
Yeah.
It's not. There's people, as soon as you start playing a Pablo Cruz song, people are gonna go, oh, I remember that song. That song was awesome. 9 to 5, that Dolly Parton thing, people love it when we start playing 9 to 5. It just the place starts rocking.
Yeah.
And what self-respecting cover band plays 9 to 5?
That's a bit of a stretch.
Yeah, but it works. It works really well. And it's really fun. And we got this big guy singing lead vocals. It makes it that much more fun. He's super charismatic, so it works. It's all presentation, how you pull it off.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, Scott and I were in a band together.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna. Let me ask a couple of names.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw these out. Al Salzillo.
Our manager.
Yes.
He was booking gigs for us.
Yeah.
Al Sal Psycho.
And he.
Super nice guy.
You didn't.
I didn't bring him into the fold. I thought maybe you did, or maybe.
I don't think so. So
if anybody was that kind of guy, it was kind of like Chris Smiley, the first bass player, and he was maybe from him.
Yeah, Smiley was there when I was there.
Yeah,
and
he was the original bass player in the Cartwrights. We're talking about the Cartwrights.
Cartwrights, yeah, the Cartwrights is the band.
Yes.
All right, another name, Sal Alzillo.
That was him in a mirror. Oh God.
There is no Sal Alzillo.
No, there isn't.
Okay.
Never mind. And who was
Al in the mirror?
Who was the mascot?
There was a mascot. I do remember that.
It was a Labrador Retriever.
Okay, so what exactly was the Cartwrights?
So the Cartwrights.
So you came into the Cartwrights.
Yeah, I invited myself pretty much in because I was very jealous, and I just wanted to be playing.
Oh, there was a guy and a girl, too, before you came.
Oh, really?
And and I remember Joe Groves was there, and this girl singer and a guy guitar player. They were boyfriend girlfriend. And it didn't. Yeah,
no
I do
gel.
remember that. Yeah, it didn't work out, and then you came in. They left. You came in. They never no gigs or anything. It was just all like seeing if it worked.
Yeah,
and it seemed to be Al Salzillo.
Was he
running the show?
He was the making all the moving parts.
Yeah. Anyway, so
so I busted into the band, and I guess you had already sort of established the band as sort of having a country leaning. Yes, because you're playing violin.
I was playing fiddle, at the time, believe it or not. And that was Al's deal. He wanted because I think country, this is the thing that always blew my mind, because we're in southern New England, right?
Yeah.
This is like, and there were these, back in the day, we're talking late 80s, right? Early 90s.
Early 90s, yeah.
There were these clubs that I never even knew existed.
Yeah.
Where you went to them and it was like you were in Texas or...
Yeah. In Uxbridge or Danielson, Connecticut, and all these places, right?
And people dressed country, people did line dancing.
Yeah, boots, scoot, and boogie.
Blew my mind. And he wanted to capitalize on that with the Cartwrights.
And he didn't count on what we ended up doing. We basically, that was like the whole Billy Ray Cyrus thing. We're like, we'd be playing a gig and people come, play Achy Breaky Heart. And we go, here's a quarter, you go play it. That was our line.
Well, because you would bring in these great tunes. This is how I know that you have a lot of knowledge of like obscure stuff.
Yeah.
But, you were definitely into like early country.
Yeah.
Great stuff I didn't even knew existed, and I kind of played a country instrument at the time, and it was like, Jesus, I never, like Hank Thompson.
All
those, like some of the early George Jones stuff.
Yeah.
It was like unbelievably good music.
Incredible music, right?
Yeah. And,
so that was fun. So we were real traditionalists, right? So we were playing
playing
honky-tonk.
Yeah, honky-tonk.
Right?
That was
and there was, at the time, there was a little bit of a honky-tonk thing happening. I mean, there was sort of like Dwight Yoakam and Steve Earle. They kind of had a little bit of a old time, they like Dwight Yoakam sort of sounded to me almost like Johnny Horton, like that sort of honky tonk man, which he did cover that song. So there was kind of a little bit of that was happening in the marketplace, but it was still pretty much like that sort of country pop, Shania Twain and all that stuff was going on at the time.
Right. Yeah.
Which we were just like, forget it.
Yeah.
Al used to say that we were ahead of our time. Playing music from the country music from the 50s and 60s.
Well, we totally blew it for him because his idea was to come up with this band, that was pretty good musically, that had, good players and everything, singers, and tap into the what was then the pop country back then in the late 80s. Who knows what the hell it was? Well, you mentioned some of the bands and stuff, but it's totally changed now, of course. But we just went the exact opposite direction.
We really did.
But he's, to give Al credit, he's stuck with us.
We won him over. He loved us.
Yeah,
he did really like us.
Yeah,
and but it was also so we were doing Webb Pierce and Hank Thompson and stuff like that. But then we were doing, like we'd sort of have a nice, like we'd do like a country version. Other people did, quite frankly, but we did like a country version of some Beatle tunes.
Yeah.
And there are actually some of the bands we emulated at that time. What was that Chris Hillman, Desert Rose Band? We did some songs. And
awesome
we did a
band,
couple Vince Gill tunes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, we weren't way out, we weren't too adventurous, but I would say our base was very much traditional 50s and 60s honky-tonk. I mean, we called our band, the style of music, we called it Wankabilly, didn't we?
I believe so. Yes. Yeah. It was like, that never caught on.
Yeah, the Wankabilly.
But, I remember we did Rub-a-Dub-Dub.
Oh, yeah. That was awesome. And we had such
song.
really silly breaks and stuff. That was great. It was a cool band because our bass player, the bass player, Kenny Reynolds, who was early, then left, then came back and finished up with the Cartwrights.
Right.
He and Joe Groves created this floor, this rhythm section floor.
Yeah.
So we could go off. I mean, we could play
absolutely.
anything. I mean, in the middle of it, we'd end a song, or in the middle of the song, all of a sudden you're playing, the music to the Jetsons.
Yeah.
Or,
yeah.
on the violin, or you're doing Over the Rainbow. And I mean, we're always throwing in a little goofy flavor because it was just so much fun. And we were so free to do that because those guys were so good to play against.
Oh, yeah. That was unbelievable. Yeah. Definitely a treat playing with those guys.
Yeah.
Talk about rhythmically.
And Joe could just do anything, right?
And
we did Cajun, we did Zydeco stuff, and he was right there.
Yeah. And your rhythm guitar playing, I mean, I hate to put you on the spot here, but it was pretty decent. I mean, you knew a lot. I learned a lot about playing rhythm guitar from watching you.
It's funny because when I listen to any recordings, it's like I can never hear any of the guitar. So I figured it must have sucked because they mixed me out.
No, I mean, I do a lot. I mean, yeah, I would ask you about it, what you were doing, and you'd tell me, and I'd be like, all right, I stored that away. I can't come up with a specific example right now, but
Well, it was intimidating. I'd never been the only guitarist in a band, right? So, so in my mind, now I'm Robbie Robertson, right? So I got to hold this line, and I'm not a virtuoso lead guitarist at all. So I left a lot of the soloing to you and Rich,
right?
And then but then I could pull out the sort of a Chuck Berry one note, rock and rolly kind of thing.
Right.
So I wasn't.
It was the rhythm playing that made a big difference. I think.
Yeah.
Really,
well, I was sort of again almost that floor. Like I've always played against. I always look at the drummer when I play guitar.
Yeah.
So I've always been so maybe I was part of that floor too then.
Right. Absolutely.
And it's kind of what you had to do because if you're singing all the songs, you can't get too. I can't get too syncopated or too clever because I can't sing over clever guitar parts.
Yeah.
So I was just belting it out.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So let's move into we're gonna hear a Cartwrights song right now. We picked out a song. We have there's a little bit of a Cartwrights discography. I think you're the only one that has it.
Yes. Oh, I have. Whatever we have, I have.
Yeah.
Whatever exists, I have.
So we're gonna listen to a Cartwrights song right now.
You want to play it, or are we gonna do that as post production?
Yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah.
But so we're gonna listen to Lonnie's original number that actually we co-wrote.
mostly
we
Rick
co-wrote.
McKinney.
Well, I don't know. I thought we wrote a couple of songs together, but maybe not. I don't know. Yeah, but at any rate, here's this is one called Lonnie's Liquid Luncheonette.
That's it.
And can you give us a little background on it? No, you didn't write it. So
I didn't write
us any background?
The only background I can give you is that you came in with this incredible song, and it didn't have a bridge. So I was like, I'm getting in on this. So I squeezed in a bridge, and I get half the songwriting credit.
Yeah, I kind of wanted a little, I don't know. I mean, it was kind of loosely based on an existing establishment, and I don't want to go into any details. I don't think it's around anymore, but it's sort of a, kind of a country nightclub, I guess, description. Lonnie's Liquid Luncheonette. Anyway, let's check it out.
Good.
Over in the boarded up side of town, there's a smoky little luncheonette can be found. Yeah, the food's no good, but you can wash it down. Always the cheapest drinks you'll find around. It's impossible to say if it's night or if it's day. At Lonnie's Liquid Luncheonette. At Lonnie's Liquid Luncheonette.
Zelda's at the counter looking mighty mean. She's a bona fide queen of this beautiful scene. And old Uncle Charlie look around with a smile to see if any of his patrons haven't moved in a while. So head on down without delay, and more than 2 fists and matinee at Lonnie's Liquid Luncheonette. At Lonnie's Liquid Luncheonette.
We're back at the Two Cat Kitchen, and you know, one thing we forgot to do, there's one question that we ask everybody here on the kitchen, and that question is, what is your earliest musical memory?
Ooh, well, I'd have to say it's kind of twofold. It sort of happened, must be around the same time, but when I was a little kid, we went to some 4th of July dance, and there was like the classic jazz band, like the piano, bass, drums kind of thing. And I was probably 4 or 5, and I sat underneath the piano the whole night and watched the drummer. And like at the end of the night, the drummer gave me his sticks. I was like, what the hell? This is awesome. And I just remember like drumming on the back of my dad's car seat the whole way home, and that sort of, got me going. And then like right around the corner from that event became the Beatles, right? So my other memory is sitting in front of my parents' huge Grundig radio, like one of those big brown boxes with the cream-colored screen, the big chiclet knobs. And I'd sit there listening to WABC in New York, and my sisters would be out playing. And every time a Beatles song came in, I had to like run to the window and go, they're on, they're on. My sisters would come running in. We listen to like, do you want to know a secret, or I want to hold your hand, or something like that. So those are kind of the two that really stand out.
That's pretty crazy. That's pretty good memories, I guess. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's super good memories.
So it was like that early dance. It was like an adult dance, yeah.
Totally, yeah. It was like after the fireworks, and it was just like all hoity-toity. We weren't members of a country club, but it was at a country club, and I guess my parents were friends with people at the country club. So, so it was, everyone's like, I don't know if it was black tie, but it was all just fancy, and everyone's, they're dancing to all the classics. But I just was so intrigued with that drummer. I was just like, holy crap, this is the coolest thing in the world.
So it was, it was one of those bands like on Caddyshack, right? The lounge band.
Yeah, it was totally whatever. But I guess were there lounge bands in like 1963 or 64? Maybe, I just don't know. But it was just, it was just a band. I had no idea how to size them up. But just having that guy give me a stick, and then Ringo comes along and just like seals the deal. It's like, I want to do that.
Wow.
So then I started drumming right through 8th grade. Then I switched to guitar.
Nice. All right. That's fantastic. Yeah. An early memory of the Beatles. You can't beat that.
No, you can't.
Yeah. Doesn't get much earlier than that.
I remember when Elvis was on the Louisiana Hayride. No, I don't.
That would be even better.
I know, exactly.
All right. Well, that about wraps up this part of the interview. And what we're going to do now is we're going to move into the recipe portion of our program, and we'll be right back with that. We're back at the Two Cat Kitchen, and it's time to talk about food. You know, we feature a recipe here on every episode of the kitchen. So do you do any cooking, Scott?
I do cooking. I'm the main chef of the house. I do have a 16-year-old daughter who's starting to get into it a lot, so she takes care of 2 or 3 meals a week.
Oh,
but it's
okay.
mostly me. And
No kidding.
And you know, you sort of get tired of cooking the same old thing all the time. But you know, I got a couple go-to recipes I love to do.
Yeah.
Main one being like shepherd's pie.
Shepherd's pie. That's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
shepherd's pie.
So you go in the field.
Does not, who does not love a good shepherd's
I know,
pie?
it's
Let me
such a
tell you
good,
that.
like...
What
just-
is shepherd's pie?
Shepherd's pie. Well, there are lots of ways to do it, Rick.
Okay.
But I do it with lamb based.
Lamb
so,
based.
Like, take ground lamb, and you fry that up with some onions and garlic, rosemary, and I put... Well, you brown it up, and then I'll put like that liquid mint sort of stuff in it also. So that's like your bottom of a casserole dish kind
Liquid
of thing.
what? Mince?
Mint sauce? You remember mint sauce? Not mint jelly. Anyway,
Okay.
mint and
Mint.
lamb. Yeah.
As in
goes
mint. Okay.
No, mint. M-I-N-T.
Mint. Got it.
You okay? So anyway, so
Okay.
yeah, so you cook up the lamb, onions, garlic, rosemary, mint sauce,
Mint.
and then
Like a mint julep.
yes, like that mint,
Ah.
not
Got
like
it.
mint Deville. That's mink.
That's me.
Mint.
So anyway, that goes in the bottom of like a bread dish or like a casserole, and you put that on the bottom. Then I'll take like
Like a
saute-
pie shell. No?
Well, no, not so much a pie shell.
Oh.
But that's just on the bottom, right?
Okay.
So it's a layered deal. This is a layered meal.
Layers.
So you got a layer of lamb, then you do like you saute spinach, and then you put like a nice layer of spinach on top of the lamb,
Ah.
and then in a perfect world you cook corn on the cob and cut off the corn, and you put that on top of the spinach. It's like it's a meal in one thing. So you get your greens, your meats, your starches, and then you just take mashed potatoes and you put that on top. So you got lamb on the bottom, spinach, corn, mashed potatoes. The mashed potatoes, you know, you can't put in too much butter. You can't, and a lot of times I put cheddar cheese in there, and you put a little butter and cheddar on top, with a little paprika, and you cook it. It comes out like a loaf of bread, big brown top,
No
and
kidding.
it's just it just tastes great. And the best sauce to go with it is freaking ketchup.
Ketchup.
Ketchup is the perfect thing to have with that shepherd's pie. No gravy, none of that other stuff. Just ketchup.
No kidding.
Yeah, it's
I still don't
fantastic.
understand the mint. But I don't know.
Mint. So
Seems
you've
like
never had
everything is-
like? Did you ever eat leg of lamb? And they always had mint jelly when you had leg of lamb,
I get
right?
it now.
So
Okay.
mint goes with lamb
Mint
traditionally
goes with lamb. Yep. You're
in the old country.
right. You're back.
Yeah, so I'm on the
Back in the
Thames having
day.
my lamb. So anyway, that's my shepherd's pie. And it's kind of the way my parents made it. Yet I've never seen that recipe in a book, but
No kidding.
anyway.
So there's no actual pie to the shepherd's pie.
No, it's just called shepherd's pie, but it's always just like a layered, almost souffle-ish, but without any crust or any, there's no pastry to it. That's it.
Okay. So I'm curious, where do you get lamb? I mean, do you into the lamb store?
Lambs are us?
Lamb store.
Stopping lamb?
I don't know.
No, it's like
In the deli counter?
Yeah,
Or no?
no, it's in the meat department. They're usually like where they have ground pork, like they'll have little kits for making meatballs. There's ground pork. Not everybody has, but you usually get ground lamb at a decent supermarket.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's really fatty, so when you do cook it, there's just a ton of grease to pour off first. That's another thing you got to do, because it is greasy lamb. So my parents raised sheep for a long time.
Oh, no kidding.
And so I'd come home from, because I was living in Providence or whatever, and I'd come home and we'd have these lamb dinners. I have this picture of my family, like, in my mind, like, we're all at this dinner table having wine and eating lamb. And at the end of the night, we all have, like, these little greasy lips, shiny lips in the candlelight, because we've all been eating lamb all night. It's kind of a disgusting thought, huh?
Or your pet.
Yeah, we did. We knew the names of them.
Nelly.
Yeah, what's for dinner tonight? Oh, lamb for dinner tonight, or toonie. I have a lot of rugs too of our sheep too. Anyway, so that's where shepherd's pie lives.
Nice. So it doesn't actually it's not actually a pie.
No, it's not a pie.
Like in this traditional pie sense, where you would
No.
have a pie shell.
I'm sure someone has been upset by the name and has gone ahead and made a version with a crust.
Yeah.
Just to despite the name.
But you wouldn't do that.
Oh God, no. Not my Scottish roots.
And ketchup.
Ketchup, Heinz.
Ah.
None of that Hunts. And none of that catsup.
That sounds great. Well, there we have it. And how long do you? All right, so you layer. Do you cook anything ahead of time, or the lamb? Do you have to cook it ahead of time?
No, you just just as you're making it. There's no like cook it and let it sit for a day or anything like that.
I'm trying to get a few more details for our listeners in case they want to make this dish.
Oh.
You see?
Well, what do you want to do? You want to put on some Baroque music.
Baroque.
I don't even know what that means. Yeah, some broke. Bach. B-R-O-K-E. Broke music.
Oh, broke.
There's not much that interesting about it. It's just a real meat and potatoes dish.
Serve wine with shepherd's pie? Or? No, you got to serve like a mead.
No, I'd go with a red wine, possibly a rosé.
Rosé, yeah. No, it's not.
Bosco, strawberry milk, all the coffee milk, all the classics.
Bosco, they know.
Remember Bosco?
Bosco, yeah. Was that a clown? No, that was
He was a
Bozo.
lion. Bozo was a clown. Bosco was some chocolate syrup. There's this Hershey's chocolate syrup. That's all you ever see.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right.
Good times with food.
I think that's good. Yeah, thank you for sharing that with us.
And we'll be right back.
Mind a swing in the holler if you think you will. Do those things in the middle of the night that you may think are wrong and you may be right. Little Debbie, little Debbie, little Debbie, little Debbie, little Debbie, little Debbie.
Scott's going to do a number for us now. You got a song picked out for us today?
Sure. This is a song called End of the World. Upbeat little number.
Very positive title. I like it. Can you tell us a little bit about the background of the song?
Yeah.
Or?
So I was really lucky because while I wasn't in a band for all these years, when my daughter was born, pretty much from age 1 till maybe age 13, I literally took my guitar into her bedroom and sang her to sleep every night. And so I came up, sometimes I'd just sit there and play songs, and sometimes you just would make up songs. And I'd record them, and I have this whole file on my computer. It's called the Ava Serenades. Ava's my daughter. And so I'd have all these songs that I've been making up, and, you'd sing little make-up words to them so you kind of remember the melody thing. Then you go back and listen to them, and this was one of them that popped up, and somewhere in there, I had the whole melody was in place, everything was in place. And I had said the words, it's the end of the world. And when I heard it 3 months later or 6 months later, I'm saying, yeah, I'm going to finish that. And that's all I did. I just finished that. It's a quick little song. It's like a happy song, but sort of sad lyrics, sort of the duality thing.
Yeah. Interesting.
But anyway, and then I did my little recording of it, and I did, added bass and melodica and drums and, backgrounds kind of thing. So a little garage band production.
Awesome. All right, let's check it out.
Every night I call out your name, but you're not there. Am I to blame, what can I say? Ooh, it's the end of the world. Ooh, my days are drifting away, and all my nights are dragging me down. I feel like I might drown. Ooh, it's the end of the world. Some days are better than some others, but I can't seem to get out of my way. It's so damn hard when the sky's so gray. I can't seem to recall the rise or the fall of our love. I think I'm losing my mind. Ooh, it's the end of the world. Ooh, so goodbye sunny days and moonlit nights. I shot my stars right out of the sky. Ooh, it's the end of the world. The end of the world. It's the end of the world.
All right, we're back at the kitchen. And now, magic moments in music history with Chi Pekingese.
Magic moments in music history. Magic memories made for you and me. Do you remember the way things used to be? Magic moments in history with Chi Pekingese.
I'm here with Chi Pekingese, resident expert in pop music history here at the Two Cat Kitchen. What do you have for us today?
Today we're taking a look at the Cartwrights, an eclectic alt-country band from the 90s.
How appropriate. I believe our musical guest this episode was a founding member of the band.
Well, not exactly a founding member, but we'll get to that later. The band featured legendary drummer Smokey Joe Groves and Papa Ken Reynolds on bass, along with local heartthrob Rich Stitch Nuri on keys. Critical to the band's early success was the addition of fan favorite Eric Haas Cartwright, played by Dan Blocker, on ukulele and vocals. Cartwright's remarkable stage presence and songwriting abilities allowed the band to progress out of the basement of their ranch house, the Ponderosa, on the eastern shore of Lake Tahoe in Nevada, and onto a number of mid-level concert venues throughout the U.S. Rounding out the early manifestation of the band was the popular Hop Sing on Spoons.
Chi, I think you may be confusing the band The Cartwrights with the popular 60s TV show Bonanza, which chronicled the exploits of the Cartwright family.
No, I don't think so. The only TV chronicle of a musical family I'm aware of is the Partridge Family, and they consisted of a widowed mother and her 5 kids who formed a band, made a hit record, then traveled around the country in a groovy school bus. Not really the same thing.
Okay, well, getting back to the Cartwrights, what sort of music did they play?
Well, that's sort of hard to pin down. They were definitely an eclectic band, but with their roots firmly planted in classic country and honky-tonk. They were somewhat unique in that, song to song, they chronicled a family and the troubles it went through. Early episodes ranged from high drama, for example, Bushwhacked, episode number 92, to broad comedy, Haas and the Leprechauns, episode number 146, and addressed issues such as the environment, substance abuse, domestic violence, and anti-war sentiment. Their later work tackled topics relevant to the day, such as climate issues, addressed in the episode Summer Rain.
I can feel summer rain falling on my back, and I see where my hopes have come to pass. But aging still reminds me of dreams designed of fragile glass. Still I'm waiting patiently, and I follow that rain to an endless stream as it glides over soft rounded stone. And there my feet they dangle and watch the water rolling by. Still I'm waiting patiently. There's a calm, cooling wind passing over me as I lay on the banks of my life. And in that river current, I see a swirling pool of time. Still I'm waiting patiently, hoping that someday I'll see the wonder rising of a child. Now I fly on the wing of this lonesome song, over land, over sea, and over
This is all super informative, Chi-Chi, but I still can't figure out exactly which Cartwrights we're talking about here.
The band also featured a memorable theme song that opens with a blazing Ponderosa map and saddle-bound Cartwrights. The melodic intro, emulating galloping horses, is one of the most recognized television scores. In fact, country singer Johnny Cash recorded a full-length vocal version of the theme song. He and Johnny Western discarded the original lyrics and wrote new ones, though the revised lyrics still make direct reference to the Cartwrights and the Ponderosa.
Oh, I think you might be thinking of the Bonanza theme song. I'm pretty sure Johnny Cash was totally unaware of the Cartwrights we're talking about. But tell me, how did today's musical guest, Scott Doggett, enter into the Cartwright picture?
He arrived on the scene early in the band's tenure when original guitarist Pernell Roberts began expressing a desire to leave the band, and prospective replacements were introduced. In an early episode during which mining tycoon Alphaeus Troy uses an actress called Lotta Crabtree, played by Yvonne DiCarlo, in a plot to hold Smokey Joe hostage in exchange for Timberwood, the door was opened and Scott was able to walk in.
I know I never told you how much I need to have and hold you tight. You spend each day not knowing how much I need you to come home at night. Make
Wow, Chi-Chi, I'm not sure what to say at this point. I'm almost afraid to ask, but what was the ultimate fate of the band? How long were they on the scene?
That's a little hazy. After their third season ended with a subtle change in personnel, the core members tried to continue the band, with David Canary returning as Canny Canaday on keys, and Tim Matheson was introduced as ex-prisoner and newly hired ranch hand Griff King. The band was subsequently relegated to only playing Tuesday nights, where it slipped badly in the ratings and was subsequently canceled.
Fascinating stuff, Chi-Chi. As always, a unique perspective on a small piece of music history. And unfortunately, that's about all we have time for today. Thanks again for joining us for this edition of Magic Moments in Music here on the Two Cat Kitchen. We'll see you next time.
Time for on this episode of the Two Cat Kitchen.
We'd like to thank our special musical guest, Scott Doggett, for joining us today.
We'd also like to thank Sophia Pearson.
I'm Rick McKinney.
And I'm Sarah Grady.
We'll see you next time on the Two Cat Kitchen.